What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Hopefully you had a good weekend overall. Had a lot of fun myself. Actually went out to a convention in Katsucon down in Washington, D.C. Got a chance to meet Dreamcast guy or Max. And of course we did the usual Spawn cast with some new guests, some people we haven't had on before. It was a lot of fun. You can actually listen to that on SoundCloud, actually in iTunes, I think now as well. And then we also took a look at that mom and pop store that I've talked about at times, that I helped work at occasionally. And looked like they were going through some hard times, so check that video out. It was a lot of fun to make. But today, we have a lot of news I want to get into. We have to talk about Atari, and of course, we have to talk about Minecraft on the Nintendo Switch, the new Better Together update. So let's get started. So Minecraft on the Switch has been out for a little while, right? But we did hear about that Better Together update that was supposed to come out sometime last year. They kept alluding to it, kept talking about it, saying it'd be out later on that year in 2017, but then it got pushed, and we haven't really heard about it since then, at least until now, where we got new details, which is pretty interesting considering it does talk a bit about the Microsoft login and some graphical features and the Bedrock Engine on the Nintendo Switch. This was done in a video by a YouTuber by the name of IBX Toycat, and they detailed quite a bit about this build of Minecraft that's coming up in a future update at some time. No release date yet, but the video they did was very informative. Check that video out in the description below. You can go back through and kind of watch for yourself and see all the different things that they talk about. The Microsoft account sign-in appears to be very non-intrusive. It seems to run a lot better. That was the biggest thing, their biggest takeaway here. Much smoother, and it appears to be almost done. And we're thinking in the next couple months, this thing's going to be out the door, maybe even the next month. It's pretty crazy how much time they've spent on this Nintendo Switch version because they've just had the time since they've been working on the Xbox version. They said that they had the Switch version mostly ready to go a little while ago, but they said, hey, let's hold off, polish it really well, and put out a good running game. And it sounds like they've made some significant improvements using this new Bedrock Engine. Now, if you play Minecraft on the Switch, there is an issue with rendering too far, where you can't really see what's going on so many blocks away. In this case, though, they took 7 on the undocked version now, where you have 7 chunks that you can see in front of you. They have doubled that to 14 undocked. No word of docked yet, but currently docked gets 10. So the undocked version with the Bedrock Engine and the Better Together update appears to render 4 chunks more than the docked version currently, which tells me the docked version will probably run even better than that, unless they don't want there to be any disparity. That's also very possible, since this is supposed to run pretty much across all different platforms together, minus Sony, because of course the PS4, Sony, right? They just can't be a part of this. And of course the 3DS and the Wii U version also will not be included in this, but mostly all the other current versions, other than the PS4, will be, and you'll be able to do crossplay pretty much across the board. You will just need your Microsoft account of some kind, whether you have a Windows 10 account for, I believe, the store, or of course an Xbox Live account that a lot of people probably do have right now. So you either have a Windows account or an Xbox Live account, you sign in on your Switch, and you're off and running. Now, I'm not really into Minecraft, of course. I've talked to you guys. I think it's a cool idea overall, but I just never got into it. However, seeing a new engine being introduced in the Bedrock Engine that Microsoft has pretty much been working on now, alongside, of course, Mojang, who they, of course, acquired a while ago for a ton of money, it's very interesting to see this new engine that they're going to introduce and see how it's going to run on all platforms, including the Nintendo Switch and then other mobile hardware as well, with Android and iOS and everything. And of course, everyone will pretty much be combined to be able to play across all systems. So this is going to be a lot of fun to see. Waiting on that release date, we're thinking, based on what they were saying here, where it was nearly completed, month, 2 months maybe? I mean, it could be a matter of weeks for all we know, but it sounds like progress has accelerated and it's just about done. So this is exciting. If you're a fan of Minecraft, you have to be excited about this, because that means if you play on the Xbox, you could then play with your friend who has a Switch, or on the computer, or on their mobile phones. So this is going to be really neat to see people of all different systems kind of come together to play Minecraft, except for the PS4. Next up, let's talk about Bayonetta on the Nintendo Switch. Of course, the combo pack came out Friday, where you could go to retail even, buy it physically. You would get Bayonetta 2 on the cartridge. You would have to download Bayonetta 1. Now, of course, if you had it digital, you're good. You don't have to worry about the problem that a lot of people faced, which was if you got Bayonetta 1 as a digital code that was printed on paper and you went to redeem it, for a lot of people, the code just didn't work. Now, there's no word on how many people this affected, but it seemed like based on Twitter and Reddit and everybody posting, and then Nintendo having to follow up with this, it was more than a few. So what happened was the code that you got, you punched it in, and it would actually come back invalid. People started taking to Twitter, to Reddit, and then Nintendo did chime in saying there was something wrong with these codes. They were misprinted in the factory level, something. For some reason, they were a digit off for something. Now, what you do is, if you have faced that problem, you have to go to Nintendo's support chain of their site. So like support.nintendo.com, you just go to nintendo.com, click support, it'll take you there. You just submit a ticket and it takes them a little while to get back to you. Some people reported a couple hours, 3-4 hours or so, but they then send you a new code that should work. So very weird issue, but Nintendo at least got it sorted out relatively fast, as they should. You spent money, you should probably get your game. Next up, let's talk a little bit about the Xbox One lifetime sales, something we've all been wondering about for a while. We've pretty much only been able to estimate it because they won't tell us. Microsoft stopped reporting numbers a while ago. Like, I think the last number they reported was like 10 million, and then they realized the PS4 was just way out in front, and they don't want to keep reporting numbers because then people get the idea that they have completely failed and the PS4 is just miles better in terms of quality and everything. That might not necessarily be the case for everyone. And of course, the Xbox One selling as many as it have, which appears to be 35 million, by the way, is pretty good, I think. I think that's still pretty good, even though people are seeing things like the Switch rocket into success, which is the Switch doing something that the other systems are not doing. And then the PS4 doing as well as it has, which is just Sony doing a very good job taking advantage of all the missteps that Microsoft made right out of the gate. So I understand why people may look at that number and say, oh man, Microsoft's in trouble. Xbox, no, Microsoft's not in trouble. We'll just say that. But we found this number out over on Reset Era, where Daniel Ahmed just let it drop, just told us, just said, hey, it's about 35 million. He, of course, has access to any of the MPE numbers, the reports that go out, as he's an analyst in China who actually analyzes any of the online interactions, mostly, of course, any values or things spent, transactions, everything. Basically, the digital part of the gaming industry, he pretty much analyzes. We get all kinds of cool figures, numbers from him on Twitter, so make sure you follow him if you have not. But he did let it pretty much drop on Twitter saying 35 million, that's about where they are now. He also said that the Xbox One X is doing better than the PS4 Pro. If you kind of align them from launch to now, you'll see that the Xbox One X seems to be above the PS4 Pro right now. But of course, the PS4 Pro isn't a big part of Sony's numbers. It seems to be the base PS4. It seems to be for every 4 PS4s that sell, one PS4 Pro sell. So it's not a big part. It's again, that 4K audience is still kind of niche compared to the base model that's cheaper and works for most people. But hey, the Xbox One, we at least know at this point, 35 million. The Switch, like almost 15 million there from what we know. And then of course the PS4 is way out there, 70 something million at this point. And our last bit of news, we got to talk about Atari. And of course, that means we got to talk about the Atari box. No, I'm just kidding. We're not talking about the Atari box. I don't even know if that thing still exists. We heard about it, and now we haven't heard about it at all. Remember when they did the delay for Indiegogo, like in like the 0 hour? They sent a press release out like early in the morning, like 2 a.m. Oh, it's delayed. I don't know. I don't know what happened to that thing, and we still haven't heard anything about it. If you're wondering, no. Instead, we're going to talk about Atari's trip into cryptocurrency. And they're going to be naming this cryptocurrency, wait for it, Atari token. That's right, it's going to be called Atari token. I'm not kidding. It's the weirdest thing I've heard of in a while. Now, of course, Kodak strangely also jumped into cryptocurrency, but what's happening here is Atari is taking a stake in a company that's building a blockchain-based digital entertainment platform. And as part of that agreement, they get to, I guess, name the currency. So it's going to be Atari token. So there you go. The company's also, it's very interesting, they're going to expand into online casino gaming partnership with Paraplay. And this is going to allow them to take that Atari token or other cryptocurrency and gamble with it. That'll actually probably make a lot of money, to be honest. I'm making fun of it, but yeah, if you're allowed to gamble with something like cryptocurrency, the house will probably make a ton of money. It appears to be Atari. They want in on this cryptocurrency bad, it looks like. And investors are excited because when they announced this to investors February 8th, the stocks jumped 60%. But here's the thing about cryptocurrency. It's a bubble that a lot of people have been waiting to burst for a while. There was a pretty big issue with Bitcoin recently. It started sloping down real bad. Others kind of had this issue with sloping. So it kind of reminds people that this cryptocurrency is hard to rely on. You cannot, it's not reliable at all. It's extremely volatile, it's up and down, it's all over the place. So it's odd that they would want to just jump in. Like I said, Kodak did, but I have a hard time seeing Atari as a video game company anymore because they're doing mostly non-video game stuff at this point, except for their Atari box, which, again, I have no idea what happened to that thing. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Newswave today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, guys. Really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave a bunch of comments down below about everything we talked about today. Maybe you want to talk about Minecraft on the Nintendo Switch. Maybe you're excited for the Better Together update because you have a friend on the PC and you have it on the Switch or you have it on the Xbox. And you're like, oh, cool, now we can all play together. Maybe all three of you have different systems. Maybe somebody is really big to playing it on like the iPad. Well, you can all play together now because of this Better Together update running on the Bedrock Engine. Sounds like they made some very dramatic improvements actually on the Switch version. In that video, again, you guys check out, they have like all these settings, which is crazy. Like they have, like you change like the max frame rate and stuff. It's insane. It's almost like when you go into it, it looks like a PC menu for Minecraft on the Switch version that they kind of checked out. It's very, very interesting. And then, of course, let me know what you think about Atari because I'm starting to lose faith in them as being like a video game company because we're talking about cryptocurrency and stuff with Atari, who we used to know for making things like obviously the 2600 and I guess the Jaguar, but who cares about that? But this is the company that we remember like being the video game console maker back in the 80s, and now here we are, you know, talking about them going into blockchains and cryptocurrency and making up money. So I don't know. Let's just hear about this Atari box because I have a feeling. Could it be a PR stunt? I mean, maybe? They could stop talking about it, and I think people would just forget about it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.